I thought we were voting on it. That's secret ballot.
No, we'll just vote open ballot, and we can do roll call. Any other nominations?
I nominate Dave Stapleton.
I'll second that.
Mr. Stapleton?
Yep.
You nominate Dave Stapleton, or Dave Stapleton also?
Yep.
So let's do a roll call vote for to fill the council seat.
Dave.
Okay.
Have 2 for Dave Stapleton and 1 for Audrey. Looks like you're it, Dave.
And get your shield.
Stand up and raise your right hand. Town of Fromberg, Montana, I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Montana.
Can you split that up?
I will support, protect, and defend the
I will
Constitution
support, defend, and protect the Constitution
of the United
of the
States
United States
and the Constitution of the State of Montana,
and the Constitution of the State of Montana.
and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity,
And I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Okay, so I, Shirley Miller, duly elected, qualified, and acting mayor of the town of Fromberg, do hereby certify that the appointed official of the town of Fromberg, whose signature appears above, did and take, subscribe said oath on me before me on 6th day of August 2018.
Thank you.
He has,
I have a question.
he has a folder over there.
I thought Dave and Bill were related, am I wrong?
No,
I thought there was a nepotism thing,
no, he's not working.
but he has to, he can't say anything when it has anything to me because I'm related to him. He couldn't vote.
He
For
couldn't
anything
work
I
for
brought.
you. You would.
You're
work
not
for
working for him, either one of you.
him. It does not apply.
I think you're wrong, I'm gonna have to look that up.
Feel free.
Would like anyone to meet our new council member, Dave Stapleton?
Hi.
We welcome you to the council, Dave.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is vote for new council president.
I nominate Tim Nottingham.
I'll second that.
I have a motion to nominate Tim Nottingham as president of the council, and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations, Tim. You are the new president of the council.
Senior president, hey?
Thank you. I guess.
You've been here.
Josh, are you ready to give your report?
Sure.
You're next on the agenda. The sheriff's report.
Good evening, there's
Thank you.
so we finished out June with just 38 hours, and then July up to through July was 53 hours. Nothing is included in for August up to this point. A lot of little stuff, some threats and harassments, some parking issues, fireworks complaint. That was the only one that was called into us over the 4th. We had some suspicious people reported. They were never located. One of them was in the middle of the day up at the school. They're investigating the theft of some prescription medication. We've had probably a handful of mental health transports from here. One of the deputies found a garage door open in the middle of the night and woke up the owner and She's very thankful for that. And then just this weekend, we had a house party here in town. We had about 8 MIPs that we dealt with. 7 of them. We also dealt with some runaways, and undersheriff is dealing with that and the appropriate people. So we had some construction. There must have been some construction last Thursday here in town. We had some driving complaints. We sent 2 guys over, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. And of course, when we're here, no one speeds.
Right.
Gives us streets. They did spend some time here, so other than that, that's what we've been doing. And then the school's starting and stuff. We'll obviously get the school zones when we can, so visit with the school and be involved in it there. So.
Any questions?
Well, I was just wondering, Josh, we've had some issues down in that trailer park on the other side of town. I was wondering if it's possible, maybe we could, see a few more swing through the alleys and stuff down through there.
Yeah, and we do that, and we've been hearing that, so they spend more time down there, and those problems go away when we drive through.
Yeah.
And, it's just like the barking dogs.
They're not hard.
Somebody's got to be willing to sign a statement to that if we're not hearing it. We all know that. Yeah, so the issues got to, are bigger than law enforcement. Those people that the neighbors are seeing, or landlord tenants, they got to do their part too in helping us out. So. Yeah, we will.
Josh, may I say something? Regarding barking dogs, I would definitely sign anything you need.
Yeah, you just sign it when it's barking and annoying you, and then
They are. They start like at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, and sometimes they go till like 7:30 in the morning. So it's just straight through. It's one dog, and it's loud. And it's not my neighbors.
so if you know which one it is, you write your statement. We'll be over to get it.
It's a few blocks away. So
Just write it. We'll deal with it. That's how Hope wants it done. So, city attorney. So we'll deal with it. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh. Next on the agenda, Chad Henson, Great West Engineering.
Alright. For Dave and anyone else that hasn't met me, I'm Chad Hanson with Great West Engineering. I'm in the building office for Great West, and I'm the project manager on the wastewater project. So I wanted to come tonight and give you guys an update on the project. It is substantially complete as of July 24th. We did our pre-final inspection last Thursday with Rural Development. Shirley was there, Spencer. At pre-final, we do a walkthrough. We update the preliminary punch list, add any other items to it. I do have the certificate of substantial completion tonight that I need you to sign for me, Shirley. And then we get it to the contractor with the punch list, the final punch list. They're working on the punch list items right now. One of the bigger ones was one of the blowers hasn't been working correctly. The Kaiser rep flew in, was on the site today with Chris Anderson from Missouri River. They troubleshot it and they narrowed it down to the VFD is the problem in the programming. However, it's a national holiday in Canada today, so they can't troubleshoot the VFD with the tech until Wednesday. I don't have any idea what holiday it is, but Canadians are on vacation. Generator, we're waiting on it. It arrived at CAT on Friday, and they tested it, and it still doesn't work right.
Oh, no.
So Taylor Electric and Missouri River told CAT that they will install a temporary generator until they get that fixed. And that's supposed to be on site and installed by Wednesday.
Okay.
And that's on CAT. So we don't have another power outage kind of issue. Ed Taylor's pretty upset with them right now. And so they said, you're going to come put a temporary generator in at your cost until we get fixed. So that's where we're at on it.
And they're gonna come and, get propane tanks out.
The temporary will probably be a diesel, would be my guess. It'll be one of the trailer mounted ones, and it's probably diesel, and so they'll have to check it and stuff and make sure if it runs. The rest of the punch list items are a lot of little cleanup items, miscellaneous things. Those were the two biggest ones on there.
Who's gonna give us information on how that repair is coming?
Which repair?
On the new one, the one that's not operational? Are you
I
gonna
guess
give us?
that'd be me.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason that we specify factory testing, is because we don't want it to show up and then they test it and it's broken sitting on site and they're fighting with them.
Right.
So they have to certify that it meets all the standards before it shows up. But we'll keep you updated, probably through Shirley right now is our main contact.
Okay.
So that's where we're at on that. Over by the tennis courts, the paving on the street where their construction trucks tore it up, it's not really part of our project, but we are holding retainage and.
Oh, you have to do it all the way up the street?
Excuse me, no?
All the way up A Street?
Well, I'm getting to that. So I went over, Chris met with the Bailey paving, John Bailey today, and they're tentatively scheduled for next week. He did paint out the areas that he thinks. I drove by and checked them out. I would like the town to look at them too. I think they're the areas that are clearly damaged by construction traffic. That street, I mean, the whole street is not in great condition, but the ruts and
Mud's in good condition before the trucks there.
well, the 6-inch ruts and stuff obviously are from the trucks.
Yeah.
The side of the street where it's caved in, 5 places up, that came with the truck.
Okay, well, that's what I'm asking you guys. If there's areas I did not see or identify, I need to know where they are.
So we need to go down and check and make sure that.
Yeah, he's got pink dashed lines marking. In fact, he marked a spot on the north side that I don't think is from construction. It's where the pavement blew out and it's gravel, so in front of somebody's garbage can, but he has it marked for replacement too, so I'm not gonna argue with him.
Mm-hmm.
But the area that is, I mean, super obviously ruts from heavy construction contract, he has that marked out, ready to go. And he asked me to look at it, and then you guys, and if there's areas, let me know where you're at. He's had trouble getting a paving contractor because we're in the middle of construction season. But Bailey, weather dependent obviously with pavers, is tentatively scheduled for next week. So, if you can follow up with me on that, Shirley, talk to these guys and let me know. As part of substantial completion in our pre-final walkthrough, the system's ready to turn on. However, Spencer discovered that the discharge line, it appears the high water from the river surcharged the line and plugged it with silt. Badger was out there Saturday and I found a blockage, they couldn't clean it. Chris with Missouri River went over there and looked around and looked at the as-bills, and there's a valve about 2 feet from the spot that marked the blockage. Eddie called Mike, and our understanding was that valve would have been shut after the last discharge, so we need to get that valve open and the discharge line, and then we can turn the system on. It's ready to go. It's filled and ready to go. Chris did pull the pump out of cell 3 until we get it online because he didn't want to overflow it or anything. So you've got literally weeks of pre-boarded storage in there, so it's not a problem. But we do, the sooner the better. We can get that open and ready to go. We can turn it on, and Chris will be on site off and on all week because Wednesday they'll be troubleshooting the VFD. They're installing the automatic motor operated actuator for the valve down in UV. So he'll be on site off and on all week, and then all we have to do is let him know, and he'll open the valves and turn it on. The last couple of things kind of came up at the walkthrough with rural development, and something I always promote. This is a big deal for the city, town of Fromberg. You guys spent a ton of money on this. I would recommend, once we have it going, that you guys schedule a ribbon cutting and an open house, and let the community come down there, and I can be there and walk them through. This is how it generally works. This is what we spent your money on. It's the first Sager system in Montana, and it's going to be
And we've talked about
a big
that too,
deal.
yeah.
I mean, they're building one in Big Timber and Vaughn right now. We are, and then Absaroki's going to build one, and then they're cutting edge on these lagoons. And it's a nice project. It looks great, and I think it'd be awesome for you guys. You may get nobody show up, you might get the whole town. But it's something I think you guys should look at and maybe schedule. Plus, I have these giant scissors I love to use. So.
Good.
I told Eileen to find me some giant scissors, and she knocked it out of the park. So
Yeah, we talked about having it kind of.
I think you could. I think you should. I mean, I don't think communities. I had this exact discussion with another
Well, then,
community today.
it would be nice for them to see what they think.
Exactly. I don't think communities take enough opportunities to do things like that, like groundbreakings and ribbon cuttings, to show the community, this is what we're spending your money on. We are accomplishing things. This is a big deal.
Shouldn't we use a roll of toilet paper though instead of a ribbon?
That is an excellent idea. That is an excellent idea. But, so that's kind of the project in a summary, if you guys have any questions on it right now, I'd be happy to answer them. I know Tim, Chris said you swung by today and checked things out.
Yesterday.
Or yesterday?
Today.
Oh, today, yeah. That's it in a nutshell. We're just working towards closing it out, final punch list items. One thing I did want to visit with you guys, and I visited it with Shirley about a Thursday, is the sludge that's left in cells 2 and 3.
Mhm.
You guys have, technically, when they go out of, or decommissioned, you have 2 years to remove the sludge, land apply it, deal with it. During planning, because cost estimates, things were going up, the town had agreed to do it with city staff. They were gonna take care of it. You don't have city staff right now. So I wanna make sure you guys are aware of
As
it.
far as at least 2 councilmen, we had no idea of that arrangement.
Right, well, and it was an effort to bring the costs down, so it came in within budget, which probably did come in budget. We've gone through, the final reconciliation change order was actually for a deduct of $8,000, and we did actual quantities versus estimated quantities. We didn't touch the contingency in this project. There's 246,000, I think, sitting there in already grant money. Eleanor and Karen are double checking, but I already know the answer that the sludge removal was part of the original scope because it was in our PER, which means you can use that contingency money to remove the sludge, which would give you options of getting a change order request from Missouri River and adding it to their contract to do it, or putting it out to bid as a separate small project.
Okay.
We had planned on helping set up the permit, but you guys would need to find a landowner that's willing, and we can help you work on that and what is required.
And
And
therein
then-
lies the rub.
That's always the rub, but I mean, we do it all the time. Finding somebody with dry land is always easier. It's free fertilizer, I mean, but there are some restrictions. You can't grow a food crop for, I forget the exact, it's a year and a half or something.
I think it's,
It might be, it's 2 or 3,
yeah,
two
two.
rotations, I think, but anyway, and we can explain those. We're way under budget on the RPR phase, just because the contractor didn't work hardly any overtime. We were splitting overtime with the Red Lodge project to save some money, so we also have strict budget. If you guys wanted us to help you set that up and talk to landowners and get it going, or bid it out, so we could do a contract amendment and just move money out of the RPR phase to additional services for the sludge, and that wouldn't be a problem. But I did want to put it on your guys' radar. And basically, once they get the cell 2 drain, or cell 3, it'll dry out naturally until it's a consistency. Sometimes they want a milkshake, some of them want it powder dry. They take it to an approved land application site, and we have figured out how many tons, dry tons per acre they can put it on, just like figuring out fertilizer and nutrient management plan. And they put it on and they have to till it in within 6 hours. That's as complicated as it gets.
yeah. And
Or you
so,
can inject it.
Yeah, and right, that's a little bit more costly than.
Yeah, it's not as common here as it is in the Dakotas,
No,
so it's harder to
no.
find somebody.
So, who will do the approval of the land to deposit all of that sludge on? Would it be Eleanor, would it be you guys, or who would
There's
do that?
really no.
Or Karen, maybe?
There's really no approval. You get a willing landowner.
Okay.
We have example memorandums of agreement where you say, hey, you agree to take the sludge, you understand these are the constraints, we agree to, sometimes you have to pay, generally in eastern Montana, you don't end up paying for it because.
So basically what we would like to look for is someone that has fallow land somewhere, that
Well-
they're not growing any crop on that.
A lot of times we put it on hay crops, it's really great on hay crops.
Okay,
Anything for animal consumption, silage corn,
okay,
grass hay, silage corn, alfalfa even though they're a legume nitrate fixer, we
Yeah,
can't put
that's-
as much per acre,
right,
but
right.
and generally, you know, we have to take extra measures if it's irrigated, so if we could avoid the river bottom, but, you know, dry land.
So, do you have extra land you want fertilizer on? First person I turned to was
Yeah,
was
so,
Scott, so
but the process, the permit is an EPA permit through, we work through Denver, and you really don't even get an actual permit, it's a general permit, we fill out the notice of intent,
Okay.
and it just says how much acreage and there's calculations. And then we've got examples that you probably want to look through of just this memorandum of agreement with the landowner saying, you agree to take this sludge for whether they just do it out of kindness for the nutrient value, or you have to pay them something. You make an agreement, and then we would just oversee the contractor to make sure they put on the correct amount per acre, and they got filled in within the 6 hours, and a few other requirements. It's fairly straightforward. The hardest part is finding
Finding
the
the
partner.
landowner, yeah. Okay.
But seeing some amazing things grow the next couple of years after we do it. So
As long as it's not any kind of a food truck.
that's the biggest restriction, is they can't grow a food crop for, and I have to double check.
And well,
It's
there's
2 or 3
I think
years.
there's a limit of time that before you can, even after they put that food crop in another area of their land, and that goes, they don't use it at all, there's still limited time where you can put that.
I don't think it extends upon the actual field it's just the field we put it on, but I'd have to reread the permit. It's been
Okay.
a
Do you
while.
have some testimonials from farmers that you've worked with this product that we could use when we approach them?
I don't know that I have a testimonial, but I could probably come up with references.
Yeah.
I'm thinking last time
Well,
we
at
did
least
it
with somebody
more.
could chat with them
Yeah.
and see if it was
Yeah.
a pain for them or if it was easy for them.
The guy that we did it with in more, that I can't think of his name off the top of my head, this is his second go around when we did the lagoons in '83, and then when we redid them, and the second time around, he was all for it. He came to the town and said, hey, I want to
So
select
that's
you.
the kind of people we want to.
Because he has it in grass, now alfalfa mixed CRP type hay, and he's like, hell yeah, I want it.
Yeah.
It was great last time, and I wanted to get it.
Yeah,
So-
no, we have a lot of ranchers and farmers in our area that may consider doing that. So
Yeah, I mean,
put
we,
the word out.
sure, and I can find out what we did in Westby, Blacksville. Savage, we haven't done it yet because it won't dry out, it keeps raining 2 or 3 inches. But yeah, we've done it. And we could find, I could try and get some references and ask if they'd be okay if you have that on
Sure.
We would like a list,
Yeah.
if
Okay,
you have one,
I will try and
or
put
if you
together
can
a list.
generate one.
It's probably a good idea just to have for future projects anyway.
Because I'm sure somebody that actually is going to be working in the field or whatever, would like to talk to somebody that's first hand done it, you know, if it's as easy as say.
Right. And generally, let's say we bid this out, and in normal projects, this is unique, because it's coming after the fact. We strongly encourage the contractor that gets the project, they go put the sludge on, they usually hire the landowner to till it in and seed it, so that they can't come back and say, hey, you seeded it wrong, and you screwed up my ground. If you hire the guy, one, he gets done the way he wants it, and two, there's no finger pointing, you can't point at himself, so. So that might be part of our, in this case, more memorandum agreement, if you guys want to get Cove from Missouri River to haul it out there and spread it, the landowner, you guys would pay him to till it in and seed it, and then maybe he's making a little extra. You're buying a seed and he's going to plant a good hay crop or something. And it is way more economical than putting it in haul offs and taking it to landfill, trust me.
Yeah, or
So-
put tubing it forever and letting it, yeah.
Well, even after you tube it, you have to land apply it or haul it off.
I know.
All that does is dry it out.
Yeah.
We unfortunately have a big area where we can let the sun do that for us. Although the tubes in Big Timber are pretty awesome, they look great.
Yeah, they do, they are.
Although I
they were
don't want to be
great.
the dude that was whacking it with the conduit and spraying everywhere.
Okay.
He was really good at what he did, but it was really. That's all I have unless you guys have questions on the project or where we're at, it's been a great project, great contractor, it looks great.
The only thing with the paving, I understand this time of year, especially with contractors, like, I mean, availability, if they can go tomorrow, you gotta go on it, basically, but if we could have like a tent, or at least a heads up, so if there's something from somebody's driveway or something, we can let them know that you can't get in your driveway for the day or whatever.
I will give you, as soon as we
much
have a
heads up,
schedule, I
yeah.
will give you as much heads up as possible.
But if we can-
But we've been keeping Shirley updated, and she's been trying to find a paver too, and it's a struggle this time.
It is, everybody's busy, so,
And they're trying to make it Blackwell
but I
top,
do have someone coming to look at our streets.
so good. Yeah, we'll give you as
Tomorrow,
much head up as we can.
Okay, Spencer?
Just an observation, with Chad suggesting the change order to haul off the materials, I'm looking on the map behind you to the lagoons. The only way to get it out is to drive the dump trucks out the gravel road and down the paved road that we're now going to pave next week. So I don't know how the city feels about maybe waiting, but you're gonna pave this street and then you're gonna have multiple dump truck loads of material driving over that fresh street, you know, getting rid of the material at some landowners.
We're talking
Are
about
you
paving A
talking
Street
about
over
A
by the
Street?
basketball
Yeah.
court.
Excuse me, wrong street.
Yeah.
Okay,
Wrong
never
street.
mind, never
But
mind.
this is
Okay.
not to repair the River Road.
Okay.
This is the,
Excuse
over
me.
by the basketball courts where they
Right.
stored the material.
Tennis courts.
Okay.
And they made an agreement with the town that they'd fix everything. The fence is back up, they just have to do the paving and then grade out the gravel and stuff.
Okay,
Okay.
if you wanna
I'm sorry.
stick around for a few minutes till we get correspondence, there's a letter I would like you to listen to.
Yes.
Okay. Elton?
This is regarding the streets. My observation may not be exactly accurate, but I think that those streets, I saw where it was marked off, okay? There's a lot of areas there where it's cracked pretty severely, and they aren't included in what was going to be repaired, it doesn't appear. I think most probably the cracking was because of those heavy trucks. And it's just a matter of time before that's gone too, because, well, you know, the moisture gets in there, it's just gonna frost heaves, it's gonna be gone quick, wherever it's cracked. And a lot of the repair stuff that was marked off is not included with that. So, I think somebody should actually do some checking, see if I'm right on that. Because I think it's really important, because a few years down the line, that stuff, I mean, probably next year, it's gonna be shot.
I think several of us have been up and down that street since it, before they put that clean gravel in there, and after it was gone. And from some of our observations, a lot of that A Street area had been pretty much starting to get damaged already. So, and there were cracks because there were weeds growing up in those cracks last year. So it's not anything, I'm just saying it's not anything new that was caused recently. Some of this stuff's been on there for quite some time. And Bill lives down there, so he knows
I
what
know
that
it's
street was.
tore up right in front,
Yeah,
and it wasn't damaged before.
well,
about
right,
in
where in
front of our
front of
house
yours,
and-
yeah, and the edges
Just
of the
about
street.
every place there's a water stop.
Yeah,
We're afraid.
I know on the side edges of A Street, as you go toward the tennis court, there is a lot of crumbling and it's been damaged quite a bit. But as far as some of the cracks that were in the street previously, because last year there was weeds growing up in those cracks. So,
I did
Never saw
you know, I don't know exactly how the council wants to handle it, but we can certainly, discuss it, look at it.
I did observe driving the street and trying to drive past where I think their trucks were. There is a lot of alligator cracking on that street. Alligator cracking is a symptom of a poor base or no base course. It's a known asphalt, and the only way to correct it is to dig it up and rebuild it with base. The areas that were exasperated and there's big ruts from the construction and stuff is what we clearly identified and I pointed out. So there's other areas that we miss. Like I said, please let me know and we'll take a look at them. And
Well, I think.
Missouri River is not arguing at all and they want to fix it and make you guys happy
Right,
and anything they damage they want to fix. Obviously, if they didn't damage it, they don't want to fix it, but they're not arguing at all. They just want to make sure they get it done right.
right.
Because
And
they're
Of course,
afraid
the
of bringing a
council-
paper back.
we have men on the council, so they, are probably more knowledgeable about that kind of thing than I would be.
Right.
So they could, take time to go down and look at it, and take pictures if they want to,
That would be great.
submit their
Yeah.
questions or whatever, so that way we
You
can
sure
kind of
none
get
of
it
them
covered.
drove up by the school a few times?
Not that I'm aware of.
So we're saying we're gonna repave A all the way to Second Street. That is nowhere even near the project where those trucks were at. Those
Right.
trucks were on First and around the basketball courts. I appreciate the fact that somebody wants to repair our streets, but that shouldn't be on the back of the taxpayers in this project.
Right. Where is first and second? But the area I identified or we looked at is about half a block
I live on the corner
east
of A
of
and
the
Second, and
basketball
there were no work
courts.
trucks down there except for the city work truck. There was no heavy equipment in that area.
They mostly, just from what I saw, mostly they just came up the street, they went on First and went over to,
And a straight shot.
the tennis court, because it was a shorter distance. Sometimes they did go down Third though, because of the double axle trailers that they had, and they didn't have that that, yeah, the space to make a turn, so they did go down Third and come straight up, so we'll just have to take a look
Try it
at it
again
and
if
see.
it's still right.
Yeah. Is that it, Chad?
That's all I have, unless you guys have questions or anybody out here has questions.
Thank you. You stick around for a minute.
Yeah, I'll stick around.
Okay, so, yes, commissioners here tonight with Carbon County, so if you guys would please stand and introduce yourself, say a few
I'll
words.
take that one.
Okay.
For those that don't know me, my name is Bill Bolak, I'm the presiding officer of the Carbon County Commission. We're the Red Lodge, represent the Red Lodge District. We were appointed in April 2017, currently running for office. We as a commission had this idea a while ago. It actually came up last summer, about a transition we've experienced in the last year in our office. Now we're getting out to all the towns on a regular basis, try to get to each town quarterly at the minimum. Reach out to you, we meet during the day, a lot of folks work during the day, sometimes we work during the day. They don't always get the opportunity to come and meet with us, see us face to face. Want to extend that opportunity. We were here during the flooding and the high water for that week. We saw a lot of familiar faces that were here during that time. But we're not just here for the emergency times, but for all the other times too, and we are your commission. We do want to open it up. I'll let Scott and Pitts introduce themselves also, but we want to take some time. This is noticed for us. If you guys have issues, questions, or otherwise, now's a good time to visit about it. Pass on to Scott.
I'll just introduce myself quick. I think I know most people in there, or quite a few of you. Introduced myself. My name's Scott Blaine. I'm the Joliet Commissioner. My district ends right north of Fromberg, but we end up doing most of the roads in the Fromberg area. You're still my road district. We have Lower River Road, all the way over to Bridger Fromberg Road, and back over to Edgar and Joliet Fromberg Road, and then I'll draw a blank on the three along the highway there. Can't think of any one of them right now, but those three roads along the highway, we do those as well. And been to a couple council meetings. And, yeah, I appreciate any questions or concerns you guys want to pass along.
I have a question for you, Scott. The road that comes behind the school is the Fromberg Joliet Road. So I assume that's what the county is responsible for, is that correct?
Well, no, the county road would end wherever the, I think that line right up there before you get to the school, before you get to the track.
Like Wendy's Field, that's Wendy's Field.
I think just
That
north
right
of that.
So I thought that anything that was a county road coming into town, through town, the Joliet Fromberg Road, for instance, I thought that was county too. Is that
No,
not right?
our responsibility, not to shirk the responsibility, but, our duty is to take care of the county road to the city limits of Fromberg. And then, the Joliet Fromberg Road, for example, then would go, if you stay on Joliet Fromberg Road, our responsibility ends at the bridge in Joliet. So,
Okay, it's something I've heard so many stories about, I wanted to get it straight.
yeah, I mean, there was some confusion, or not necessarily confusion, just we don't know, but the road leaving the railroad tracks, it's always